What up, my fellow Knicks fans? This is your guy Marcellus Ease, and don't panic quite yet. Now, after the firing of David Fizdale, we've seen the Knicks actually lose the next two games, especially a blowout game against the Portland Trailblazers, which they were 9-15 coming into that game, and they were struggling. And we were still able to lose to them by 28 points. The Knicks put in an interim head coach that we never heard of. Scott Perry and Steve Mills never addressed the media about the new coaching change. And as more time goes on, we're going to see things start to fall on Steve Mills a lot more, as now they don't have David Fizdale to blame, in which, this team right now isn't compatible, especially, from player to player. Now, with the trade, getting Dennis Smith Jr. in a trade is not actually working out. Dennis Smith Jr. is too erratic night in, night out. That point guard position is still in a question mark, even after last season, that position being one of the key holes, to making the team struggle for most of that season. And it's still the same thing this season. And that's actually going to fall under Scott Perry and Steve Mills, because David Fizdale does not choose the players. Now, I figure I get a unique player perspective on David Fizdale's firing. And, with Matt Barnes and Steve Jackson, All the Smoke podcast, you guys check it out.
Firing Fizz, he's the fall guy.
Scapegoat.
They had to find somebody to blame it on. Now what's next? We knew somebody was going to get the blame. Signing all these power forwards at one time, thinking Barrett was going to come and save the day when you know it's going to take him a couple years.
Now, actually having R.J. Barrett switch positions as a rookie and play the toughest positions for rookies to get used to, which is the point guard position, it's really telling. It doesn't make any sense to make him do that. I thought development was the key, was the plan A, like Scott Perry and Steve Mills kept on saying. But then, as we've seen in that surprise press conference, Steve Mills kind of emphasized that he told Dolan something else as far as the team being competitive. He said it didn't really amount to winning, but the team should have been competitive. But then we kind of seen pressurized situations where they were kind of making guys like Marcus Morris, who they're not committed to, take a ton of shots, play a ton of minutes, and have, playing time over developing guys like Kevin Knox and Alonzo Trier. Things like that don't make any sense. It's like Steve Mills is a buffer between James Dolan and the Knicks team coaching staff all the way to the team and all the way to the fan base. And we're getting two different explanations of what's going on. It seems like Scott Perry and Steve Mills is letting James Dolan know that the Knicks are good enough to compete, but then again telling the fan base, hey, we're developing. And, especially to David Fizdale, he's supposed to develop players and Kevin Knox, R.J. Barrett. And it's like a different story, and we don't know really what's going on. But like I said, as more time goes on, the Knicks, as I expect, they should continue to lose, especially because Dennis Smith Jr. is just not working out at point guard position. And Alfred Payton is going through a lot of injuries right now. As long as that point guard position is not settled, as far as, what's going on with that position, we're going to continue to struggle. And this is going to fall on Steve Mills and Scott Perry.
Failing on the trades, didn't get no big free agents this summer. I just think they got to this point where they knew they was going to have to blame it on somebody. They got rid of Fizz. Now what's next? Who they going to blame it on next?
See, I know Fizz, and going into this conversation or going into this job, I told him I didn't tell him, but I was saying to my other homeboys we know, but this could be career suicide for him because this is a bad situation.
And it's still a bad situation. Right now, with Steve Mills and Scott Perry, because right now their jobs are on the line, there's going to be no coach that's actually going to come in. No serious coach is going to come in and be like, I'm going to take this position. Because we all know, if you're a coach and you come in between a regime change, most likely the new regime of the GM or the president, they're going to get rid of you because they want to put their own guys in there. So right now, the Knicks position is not an appealing position at all to any serious coaches, which to me is kind of a red flag that, Steve Mills is on his way out and probably most likely Scott Perry along with him. Now, Steve Mills, don't be surprised if he gets actually bumped down. Don't be surprised if he's not fired from the organization in total, but he just gets bumped back to another position kind of behind the scenes as far as operations.
I've been very vocal on the ownership, and, Steve Mills has been there throughout this tenure, of Dolan, and it's been 20 years of bad basketball.
Steve Mills is there because he's kind of like the money guy. This guy has I believe, an MBA from Harvard. During his reign, The Knicks actually, the other day, it came out in Forbes that now the Knicks are worth $4 billion. So something is being done right as far as operations. But when it comes to basketball, Steve Mills is not that guy.
Why is he still there?
Why are both of them still there? Several coaches, several players.
That's why he's there. It's really a money issue.
Like you said, you miss out. You're promising your fan base the world this past summer. You whiff on all major free agents. You sign 4 power forwards, and you tell Fizdale, go make this work.
Especially after, like I said, after that Dennis Smith Jr. trade, the Knicks had no choice but to pull a trade. But Dennis Smith Jr. is just not working out at all. He hasn't gotten any better. He's still erratic. He doesn't really pass the ball well. He doesn't really shoot well or defend well. He's just one of these athletic guys in college that, everyone was like, wow, he's really athletic. He should be in the NBA. But by the time they go to the NBA, everyone's athletic. And so their fundamentals have to start kicking in. And if they don't have that, they kind of get exposed. And that's what's going on with Dennis Smith Jr.
So like you said, scapegoat, it hasn't been the players, it hasn't been the coaches, it's been the front office and the people who are really calling decisions. And up top, like I said, winning starts up top. So what do they do now?
That's a good question. Like, what free agent is going to have the guts to come here and change the way things are going here?
No one. The Knicks will have to start developing within. It's pretty obvious. Guys like Julius Randle, they're supposed to take advantage of guys like that who couldn't really find a steady home. Magic Johnson, like an idiot, let Julius Randle go from the Lakers for nothing. He was kind of floating around. The Knicks are supposed to develop guys like that to be like a mid-level all-star. These are the type of situations that the Knicks got to take advantage of while at the same time developing, guys that they drafted.
Don't look like nobody.
Right. And it wouldn't be one. I think they would have to come with someone else.
But with so many players that fuck with Fizz,
you would have thought.
That's not a good look.
Right.
Exactly. They fired a player's coach, and that's not gonna be a good look at all. Especially hiring another coach. Like I said, to hire another serious coach under the regime of Steve Mills and Scott Perry is going to be very difficult. That's why, I already know they're on their way out.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, they fucked over Fizz. Now we definitely not going there now.
This team stood up and ride for Fizz from what I can understand. And like I said, he was the easy scapegoat. Granted, they lost, these last few games by a lot of points. But like I said, it starts at the top. It's been at the top.
And they're still losing games by a lot of points even after the firing. That should be very telling. Like I said, the Portland Trailblazers coming into that game against the Knicks were 9-15. They even lost to OKC the game before. So that team is 12th place in the Western Conference, and they actually blew the Knicks away. So they're still having the same struggles. So you already know it's the way the team is put together.
You're putting, squares where circles should be and circles where squares should be. The pieces don't fit. It's one thing after another. And I feel bad because basketball it overall is better when the Knicks and the Lakers and the Celtics are relevant. The Celtics are doing what they do. Lakers are back on track, but it's still the same old Knicks. And I think the fan base deserves better. The city deserves better. Dolan, fire yourself. Then fire Mills and give these fans a chance, man.
And then the guy who you need, Dolan, since you don't want to listen to nobody, why don't you listen to us for a change? Basketball players. And why you put your drumsticks and your musical instruments down, throw all that shit away. We don't.
Yeah, he's talking about Dolan and his little guitar band. Like I said, Dolan doesn't really know anything about basketball. He's just supposed to hire the people that's supposed to know what to do. He actually has the operational side when it comes to like the money on point, but he just needs the basketball side, to be more on point to actually put together a put together project.
Don't listen to that music anyway. But check this out. Mark Jackson will save your organization. He's a New Yorker. They love him here. He knows what it takes to win. He's a gritty player. It's bigger than basketball. It's not just about who you want.
Now, Mark Jackson will never take that job because I believe he's actually kind of shadow banned in the NBA. And this is because Mark Jackson is a Bible thumper. He's one of these guys that always preaches the Bible. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you go on TV and in today's age and you preach against homosexuality, it's a red flag, especially in the entertainment business. And sports actually falls under that business right now. In Hollywood, it's a very unpopular thing if you talk against that, especially preaching in your religion. And he was doing that out in San Francisco, and you see they got rid of him. And it's something overall that the league, it's like an image that the league don't want right now. And I'm not sure if the Mark Jackson situation is going to change right now, but he does have a job with TNT. It's secured. It's less stressful. I don't know if he's going to leave that in order to join the Knicks.
Think about the city of New York, the people of New York. They want somebody from New York who played the game, who know what it takes to win. Mark Jackson is your guy. Thank us later. All the smoke.
Hire him before you fire yourself and Mills, though.
And take your foot off and kick yourself in the ass and then put it back on if you can. You did.
All the smoke.
All the smoke.
Steve Jackson always clowning around. Yeah, but James Dolan just needs to actually hire people that are going to do the job correctly. Steve Mills, his time is up as far as doing the basketball side and operational side. He should just stick to the operational side, maybe, because financially the Knicks are doing very well. Like I said, they got estimated, I believe, the other day at $4 billion. So their revenue has actually gone up. Their net worth has gone up. But Steve Mills, as far as when he came with the Knicks in 2013, firing Mike Woodson's whole coaching staff after they won 54 games the year before, trading for Andre Bargnani, not pulling the trigger to get Kyle Lowry, a lot of mistakes under this guy and a lot of losses. So, he definitely has to go. I know James Dolan, he's probably one of James Dolan's henchmen, but it's just not going to end up working out as far as the operational side on basketball. So you guys let me know what you think, and you guys stay safe. Peace.